Welcome to About 6 Acres. It's been a while. Like 6 months?
6 months.
Yes. So we thought we'd share a little bit of our garden since that's something that has changed a little bit.
It's getting ready for fall. So we're in our main garden and we've primarily just done raised beds back here. We've experimented a lot, but we're gonna see what has survived this crazy summer and this heat and what we're planning for fall. Our herbs, our rosemary and our oregano are going strong. We saved some seeds, but then we also want to leave some seeds again for the birds, and then if they drop down there, then they'll self-seed. We don't have to worry about it in case we forget. And we have two beds here, which don't look like much. They used to be our strawberry beds, and this was their first year here. They multiplied a lot during the first year. We got a pretty good crop for strawberries, but with that crazy Texas heat and obviously no shade, a lot of them burnt to a crisp. So we tried to, in this bed, plant watermelon to act as a living mulch, and we still have some, but a couple days ago our temperatures dropped down to the 30s, and so that fried most of our watermelon vines. So we'll probably be harvesting this guy in a little bit. I have to get some straw and put over our remaining strawberries. And we had planted some onion sets in between them as well, and we harvested those. But we also have our jalapeno. We have two jalapeno plants here, and they didn't do very well during the spring or the summer, but once the summer temperatures cooled off, they just exploded. So they're still producing. Maybe the end of the month, we're gonna dig these out and we're gonna overwinter them, because they survive over the winter, then we can come back and plant them again, and we don't have to worry about seeding new pots of jalapenos since they are doing awesome. And all you do is just dig it out, put it in a pot, and cut about 2/3 of the plant off, and just water it occasionally. You don't have to fertilize it, but keep it in a warm spot, either in your garage or your house.
So it's a great way to get a head start on the following year by just overwintering your pepper plants. The main change to this bed for next year is that we did plant some hardneck garlic in here. We have 2 rows right here of music garlic that we'll be looking forward to sharing how it does in our climate.
So in this bed for the summer, we had some okra growing with some Jimmy Nardello peppers. So we ended up taking those out, and we planted for the first time a couple rows of turnips. So we got some purple top turnips. Obviously we'll have to thin them out, but we alternated rows of turnips with some radishes. So we have about 3 rows of turnips alternating with radish. So radish we can successionally plant as well since they're pretty fast. So looking for some roasted turnips in the wintertime.
My big takeaway from this bed is we are not planting okra in a bed. It just was not worth it. The ones that we planted directly in ground did really well. And note to future self, we don't need 12 plants of okra when 2 of them will supply all the needs.
Our bed here is going crazy with basil. We try to plant basil in most of the beds where our tomatoes and peppers and other veggies are, but we let our basil go to seed and go to flower because I don't know if you can catch it, but there are honeybees going crazy. There are bumblebees, native Texas solitary bees going crazy, especially during the colder weathers to get some nectar. It'll reseed, so later on in the year we'll just take off these seeds. Some of these are brown, and we have our basil seeds, or just let them fall again like in our bed, and basil's going to come up next year.
We do want to plant some of these around the chicken coop, and so some of these seeds will probably just scatter. The chickens may eat some of them, but some of them might start to grow, and it's good for them.
And a couple years ago we had gotten some milkweed plants, and totally forgot that I had planted some alongside here. So got some native milkweeds. That'll be for the monarchs, so they'll eat those. So pretty cool. Have some shishito peppers finishing off their season. These are like prolific peppers you use in stir fry. We may pick some, they're already drying on there, so we may pick them dry them out in our dehydrator more, and we grind it up with our other peppers for paprika. Hello bees. And then we've done a succession planting of cucumbers This is another variety, our slicing cucumbers. So they're doing well. During the summer, they did not like, again, the heat, suffered a lot, squash bugs, and just going crazy, but nice and green, doing good. I'm gonna have some cucumbers to pick pretty soon.
Things we've been trying to work on and do a better job in this main garden is adding flowers. This variety of zinnia is called Queen Lime. So I've never seen anything so pretty like this. We're definitely saving seeds. We also have asparagus. A big tip if you're starting out is plant a lot of perennials right away. You'll be glad that you did. And those are good investments.
A couple of weeks ago, I've seeded some poppies. We'll have more flowers in the spring coming up. So just broadcasted them, rake them in. So when the zinnias die back, we'll have something already in the bed. So in this bed, we originally planted some tomatoes and tomatillos, along with some basil again for pest control. But we'd also planted a couple different varieties of kale for the geese. So we have some walking stick kale that they like, and then this is the dinosaur Jacinto kale, and this is very good. I'll snack on this a little bit, but you can see grasshoppers have been chewing on it, but these have lasted and are doing well with the cooler weather now for the geese. So we'll pick those off, feed them to the geese. And then we have a Swiss chard that's made it through the year that we've basically cut back and sprouted again. So the geese will also eat that.
This is another one of our original beds. We did a hugelkultur method. So we did logs and sticks and
leaves. And then we put in some soil and some compost and some wood chips.
So one of the things that we found in these beds is that they were not performing as well as some of the other ones that we did more compost, leaf, and soil into. So we keep an eye on these. We have sowed in more poppies into here, and some of them are actually starting to come up. I don't know if they're the California poppy that reseeded or if these are actual ones of the ones that we planted. Yeah, there's quite a few there.
Tiny, but...
So we'll see. Then we have feverfew, which is a perennial, and it didn't do well for me this year. A lot of it was my fault. Feverfew looks a little bit like chamomile, but you can cut it and use it like any other cottage flower.
So this was our primary tomato bed. We had like 3 varieties of tomatoes in here. We got a good harvest this year. Again, interplanted with some basil. I think this is going to be our onion bed where we're going to seed some onions. So we may end up cutting this basil back. I also planted some sweet peas alongside the trellis. So they'll start coming up hopefully for the early spring and the cold weather. So they smell really nice. If you have stalky plants like the basil or even maybe like the okra, you can cut the stalks pretty low, but leave them in the ground, leave the roots in the ground, and leave a little bit of the stalk above the ground because some of the pollinators like to overwinter in there. Some of our solitary bees will use the hollow stems.
We have 2 beds here that we've covered with insect netting. We have grasshoppers that basically eat everything. In this bed, we have some carrots, which you can kind of see growing. We will be thinning out these carrots very, very soon. We have not had any luck growing carrots to date.
This is our, I want to say, 4th time trying to grow carrots, and the reason why we haven't thinned them yet is because they've actually germinated this time and survived. So I don't care if we get mutated baby carrots, little tiny like snacking ones.
As long as there's carrots.
Yeah, as long as there's one
yes.
carrot. That's our goal.
I need more than 1 carrot. In this bed we have garlic and we have some beets growing here. So we have 2 rows of the chestnut red garlic. We have 2 rows of elephant garlic, which is a garlic we've never planted before either. The cloves are humongous. The other thing we have in here are the beets. I love beets. I love beet juice. I love beet in several different ways. So I'm excited for this. Come February or March, we'll have some good beets to use.
Okay, and this bed is our other kale and our shishero peppers. So these peppers are pretty much done for the year. Even though we see some flowers, probably need some water and fertilizer, but the way the temperatures are going, I don't think they're going to survive. But these have been a nice sweet pepper variety for us. actually. I've used in, again, stir fry, sauteing, but when they get red, we've actually dried them and mixed them with our other red peppers for paprika. But very, very sweet tasting. If you don't like growing bell peppers, you can grow these. We have a bell pepper that we actually overwintered. It was a container variety, so it didn't produce really big bell peppers. But again, after the summer, I mean, the peppers just came back. So you may have some tiny peppers, but I don't think we're going to save this plant for next year. We just do these sweet peppers and more hot peppers.
So that's a look at our garden after the second year of us being in the homestead. There's a few other things that we want to catch you up on, and we'll get to those videos, but let us know what you think. Are there things that you would try that you think we should try as well?
Don't forget, you're awesome, you are loved.
And if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit like and subscribe.